Okay, now we're here. All right. Get everything kind of set up here. How's everybody doing tonight? For those of you that are here, which means I did this last minute. I don't know if there's going to be too many of you. Hey, Garrett. Hey, did your holster show up today? Your Schofield? I was checking the tracking information. I hadn't got to yours yet, but post office screwed up and sent them all to Washington. Howdy, Big D. Go ahead and chime in and make sure you can hear me and everything's working all right, because I didn't check the microphone before we started this shindig. All right, I gotta shut this down for a second here. I don't know why YouTube has to send me a live or an email telling me I'm live. Hey, Dustin's in the house. Hey, Dustin. We need to do another live chat again sometime. It's been a while. Shades put back on my hat so I know where they're at. All right. So it looks like we've got a few of you. Let's see what it says here on the YouTube. It says there's 10 of you out there. And we're glad to have all 10 of you. So, yeah, this was kind of a last-minute deal because I forgot I didn't do a live chat Tuesday. Of course, I didn't have any holsters done Tuesday. I kind of took the last few days off. Just kind of relaxed. Of course, it's been cold, windy, and nasty. And bangs the wind up, my sinuses are up, so I've been dealing with nosebleeds again and all that stuff. So, yeah, fun times. But I got all the holsters finished today, and I was getting ready to start listing them online, and then I remembered I was going to do something special with them, so that those of you that don't use Etsy would have a chance to maybe order one. So yeah, well, it sounds like everybody's hearing me good, seeing me good, so we're good there. All right. Well, I'm not going to try to run this too terrible long tonight, but watch. It'll turn into a 3-hour chat like it always does. I was going to show off some of the holsters here. Let's see. Garrett says, what does holster be there tomorrow? Okay, good. Yeah, and when you get that, test that Schofield, let me know how it fits. And if it doesn't fit, we'll figure something out a little bit better. You might be able to just soak it in water and put the gun in there and see if it'll go in then. If it's too terrible, then we'll, like I said, we'll figure something out. All right. So, as I was saying, we're going to kind of roll things along here. And, you know, if you missed the first part, you can always come back in and watch it later for those of you that haven't made it here yet, which you don't know that because you ain't here yet. Yeah, my mind's about shot this week. All right. So, I'm just going to start showing off some holsters here. One is spoken for. Well, I guess I'll show that first being Garrett's here. So, Garrett, this is that one I sent you pictures of. I tried to email him through my phone, but it threw a hissy fit and it didn't send them. But this is that one for the 1860 you was asking about, and I'll grab my 1860 Airsoft here just so you can kind of see how the fit is. So that's an 1860 in this one. That's pretty good. The spots that was on it that I showed you, you couldn't see them. Well, this thing had a real bad bronzing effect from the excess dye on there, so I took a light alcohol rub and wiped the excess off, and the spots showed up a little bit back here, but they're not terrible. But if you're still interested in that one, let me know. Like I said, I tried to send an email, but my phone threw a fit, so that email is still pending on my phone. It'll probably get there about this time tomorrow. So anyway, that one's the one I got reserved for you, Garrett, if you're still interested in it. I'm going to put that to the side so I don't get it sold. All right. So we'll start off with this one here. Exact same holster as what Garrett had. We showed you there that Garrett was looking at. The only difference is this one has a riveted and stitched belt loop, and this is a straight right-hand draw. And I don't remember, did I No, I did not. I did not put a rivet up on the top. And usually what I've seen in doing living history and using these is that the bottom one is always the first one to go. I don't know why, but the bottom one is. So I put the rivet there. This is not a lined holster, but I got that rivet set in far enough. And I think where it's sitting at, it should not rub on any part of the gun. 51 Navy, 60 Army. And that's all that this will fit is the 51 Navy, 60 Army, or, the Confederate clones of such. So this one, yeah, this one's up. And I think the price I was asking on these, let me double check here. Let's see. I put the civilian half flap up at 70, so this one will go for 65. So these are go at 65 here. I better write that down before I forget because I'm terrible at remembering numbers. And terrible at remembering where I put my damn pen too, and my paper. There's my Post-it notes. All right. So yeah, the Slim Jims are all going to go at 65. All right, next thing, same thing again, same style. This one, by the way, is dark brown in color. Although I did take that alcohol and I wiped off the excess too, and so it's got a couple spots up here where it looks like it's kind of fading, but it gives it more of an antique look. I don't know. I think it looks good. All these were done with an airbrush. I did not use the dauber. I used an airbrush on these, and I got to say, I like how it covers on the lighter colors better. But one thing I noticed is the dye does not soak in as deep. And sometimes it takes 2 coats, but it saves a lot of dye too. My God, it saves a lot of dye. I think I used what I did 6 holsters with. The amount I used, wouldn't have done 1 holster with a wool dauber. So anyway, here's the same thing. This one has the flat round profile belt loop. This is a left hand cross draw or right hand cavalry draw, however you want to put it. So this one's up there, same price, $65, like I said, on these Slim Jims. Let's see, Serpent's in. Ryan likes one of them. Jeremy says anything fit a 5.5-inch barrel. Yeah, I'll get to that. I got a couple more of these Slim Jims to show here, and I'll get to that. And then I'll show what's already on the Etsy page, which there's 3 on the Etsy page. Which 3 are they? I go back and check here. Okay. This one is already on the Etsy page. All right, let me get back to the chat here. So this one is on the Etsy page if you want to go check it out. It is, let me double check that. Yeah, I know it's the one on the Etsy page. Because I don't have a picture of the back of it. So this one is $70. The civilian half flaps are $70. And this one, both of these, I got 2 of them. Both of them I cut the flap a little short on, but they'll still work. They're just not as long, which I wanted to shorten them up from my original pattern, but I didn't want to shorten them up as much as I wound up shortening them. But they still cover pretty good. And this is, again, is a 60 Army. 51 Navy is going to fit in there just a little bit deeper because the 60 Army's got a 8-inch barrel. The Navies have 7.5-inch barrels, unless you're dealing with Pieta. Pieta makes an 8-inch barrel in the 61 Navy. Anyway, like I said, this one's on the Etsy page. And this one has the sewn-on belt loop. I did not put a rivet on this one. I did backstitch though, so this one should hold on. It is glued. I do know it's glued, but this one does not have a rivet in it. And so this is just kind of a standard cross draw right hand. I think all these Slim Jims, except for the one that I showed, the dark brown one, they're all cross draw. And then this is the brother to that. Same thing, only this one is light brown, and it has the flat, low profile, tongue-tied here, belt loop on it. So both of these are $75 or $70. Excuse me, $70. 70 is what I got them at. So let me write that down so I don't screw up again. Half Flap. $70. All right, so $70 on these. And it looks like everybody's enjoying what I'm showing. So that, nope, I got one more. This one, okay, another Slim Jim here, another half flap. This one is also on the Etsy page, so if you want to buy it, go over and take a look. It's also got the flat inline belt loop. This one's a lot bigger though. This one fits the Remington. You can stuff a 7.5-inch single action Army in it, which I'll demonstrate that right quick. So Remington SAA 7.5-inch sticks in there. You can see the ejector rod pushing out there. That'll fit. It'll fit the Ruger Old Army. I tried to stuff a Colt Dragoon in there. It'll get in there, but it doesn't like to. This one I just call a universal. It fits about everything. So that one's up there. This one, let me double check on my price because this one's $75. So this one's $75. The Navy and Army version is $70. This one is $75 because it's just a little bit bigger. So that one's up there again, left-hand cross draw. And you can, if you got a 2-inch belt, you can wear this as a straight up draw on the strong side. I'm going to have if you on the Instagram, I'm going to have an advertisement with his picture on it too. But a friend of mine, the first one that these models I made for a friend of mine down in Arkansas, Oklahoma area. He sent me some pictures with his, and he's got his in the cross draw and the straight up and down, and he's got it sitting on the strong side, and it looks just as good. So yeah, these are wide enough you can turn it to where it sits straight up and down. All right. Hey, Serpent. Let's see. Okay, now we're getting into the loop holsters. I've got a couple of these here. Okay, this one I'm going to show first because this is the cheap one. It's already on Etsy again, so again, I got to double check the price. $50 is what this one is. This is a left-hand 5.5-inch for single action Army. It'll fit a Remington too. Probably would fit one of the short barrel Navies, what they call the sheriff models. It'd fit them real easy. This is actually the second holster I made for sale. This is back when I was getting started. Stitch line you can't hardly see because I rubbed it so hard when I was burnishing the edges. And then one thing you'll notice on this holster that you don't see on any of my other holsters is that it has edge coat on it. So the gentleman he actually ordered two. The first one I sent him, he liked it, and he ordered the second one, and then I never got payment for the second one. But it's got edge coat all the way around the edges. I don't offer that anymore. Does not have a toe plug, but this is left hand for 5.5-inch. And it'll fit 4 3/4 too. I made this one based off my 4 3/4. No toe plug in it. So that's that one. Like I said, it's already on the Etsy page. So the ones that are already listed on the Etsy page, them you'll have to buy through Etsy. The other ones I haven't listed yet. We'll kind of get into that. I'll have an option you can buy them before they go on Etsy. Next one is my classic 3.5 or 3.5. My 3-loop Mexican style holster, triple loop, and this one was ordered by one of the viewers, but this one's kind of got a screw up in it. So when I stamped it, my stamp bounced, and it's kind of hard to see there, but the stamp bounced on it, and so this one I'm marking down. These usually go for $75. I'm going to sell it for $65. So let me write that down. Special. So I remember this one. I do list them. So 65. I was taking $10 off. So this one's 65. This one's dark brown. Again, this one is done with the airbrush. This one is medium brown. and it's got some spots where it didn't soak in as well, but it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it looks pretty good for no more experience than I had on the airbrush with it. The other than the stamp bouncing, there's nothing wrong with this holster. So it's just that stamp bounced, and then I didn't really care for it, and I didn't want to send it to the guy, so I made it again. That one is available. And then I got two here for a 5.5 inch. And Ryan Carter, yeah, I looked at that comment just in time. So I've got two options here. One's a really decent one. One's a piece of crap. So the piece of crap one is this one. This is one that I was practicing my tooling on. And, you know, I said I didn't do very good at basket weave, but apparently I did good at one point in time. I just didn't remember doing it because I did it all the way up and down, except for this section in the middle here where I had my name at, my maker's mark, and I did some fancy stuff around that too. This is one I first did my spots on, practice with spots. It's not lined, so if you put a gun in it, they're probably going to rub on the spots in there. The one thing about this holster, though, is when I put the spots in, it really stretched out the leather, so it does not stay like it should, which, you know, if you want to take a hole punch and punch it here, you can put a rawhide thong through it, and it would stay put. I just don't have the heart to do that. This one, like I said, right hand should fit a 5.5 inch. It's built for a 5.5 inch. Fits a 4 3/4 pretty good. This one here, I'd let go for 50. Honestly, it might not even be worth that, but I gotta kind of get a little bit of money back on my leather and work. So let me put the fancy. So I said $50 on that. So that one's that one. That is dark brown. Again, airbrushed, which I think dark brown on airbrush gives a lot better look than the dark brown that I used with the wool dauber. And then the second one is that exact same holster, only not fancy. This one is actually medium brown, which this one turned out beautiful with the airbrush. It actually took two coats with the airbrush. So I put the first coat on, and it was mottled and spotted and really leopardy looking. I went back and gave it another coat, and it is just beautiful. And it I do believe it's had a coat of neat's foot oil as well. In fact, I know they have. Yeah, this one I went ahead and this one I did not burnish the edges on. I figured I had already spent enough time on this, and it wasn't going to bring me that much money because it's kind of a piece of crap. So I did not burnish the edges on this. So just keep that in mind when you buy this. You are buying a prototype. You are not buying a standard product. This is closer to a standard product, but I still need to alter the pattern a little bit. And this one does not. I mean, it still moves and wiggles a little bit, but not as bad as its older brother here, which, you know, really flops around. Yeah, this one should fit a 5.5 inch. Now 4 3/4 is a little tight. Barrel comes to right about there, but being it's closed toe design, you might have to just wet the bottom a little bit if it doesn't quite fit anybody that buys that, or you just let the gun ride a little bit higher. Eventually it'll work its way in. Yeah, Jeremy, yeah, train's on time right at 9:04. So, yeah, those are the two that I got for right-hand 5.5s. Like I said, you know, this one goes for 50. This one, what was I putting the double loops at? I was putting them at 65. I'll do a special on this. We'll call this one 60. Let me write that down. We'll do a special, like I said, on this one, $60. Please keep in mind, anything you order from me comes with a $20 shipping fee. I know that's pretty stout for shipping, but I ship flat rate, UPS medium flat rate box. And the reason I do that is, one, I don't have to be sitting on a bunch of boxes and not know whether or not I'm going to have to sit on them for a while. And two, with that, I get tracking and insurance. And by the time I pay insurance, because the box itself is $15.50, but by the time I pay insurance for some of these holsters, it starts pushing 20 pretty easy. And I was losing some money there when I was shipping and putting pretty high insurance on it. So $20 insurance, or $20 shipping, that gets you the insurance. Yeah, Ryan, email is the best way to get a hold of me, and that should be. Did I put it? I didn't put it down below. Anyway, I'll put it on a banner here or something. There you go. Now you can see it. So there's the banner. So there's the email. Yeah. So Ryan, let me know if you want the fancy one or the plain one. And we'll get you set up here. Other than that, I don't have any. Let me double check, look around, make sure. Yeah, I don't have any holsters that are other than that are done. I've got 2 Dragoon Walker Gus styles. One spoken for. One's going to be a discount because there was a freaking stamp that I didn't see until I cut the holster out, and I could have missed it real easy. If I'd have noticed it when I laid out the pattern, but I laid out the pattern, cut it, and I seen it was there. So I got 2 of those coming out. I'll have one that's going to be for sale, one spoken for. And then I got 2 of the pocket models, 49 pocket models I'm going to try to get done here. And I got a 1911 that's probably going to be on the discount sign. Ryan, right-hand cross draw for 7.5 inch, single action Army, 51 Navy. Which one are you looking for? And if you need to custom order a holster too, I got to put that on hold for just a little while. If you want to place an order there, that's fine. I'll take orders right now. But I'm waiting on leather to show up because I'm out of leather. And the leather ain't going to show up till I order it. I'm not going to order it till this last batch of holsters that went out that were ordered. Everybody's happy with them. That way I know that I got the money so I don't wind up, buying $500 worth of leather and then having to refund because somebody wasn't happy with their holster. Ryan, a right-hand cross draw for 7.5 inch. I could probably make a pattern pretty easy. All I'd have to do is just take this pattern for the triple loop. I could take this pattern and adjust it for a cross draw. When you email me, throw that in there and I'll see if I can get a pattern, come up with a pattern. Like I said, it's going to be a little while before I can take orders again. Garrett, the Gus styles. Let's see. Slim Jims I was selling. That's a Slim Jim 65. There's not much difference, so they'll be 65. I'll sell them at 65. So, because there ain't much difference in the amount of leather in between the two. Oh, let me write that down. And I'm trying to make a brochure for people that, if they're wanting a holster but don't know exactly what they want. I'm trying to come up with a brochure that I can send to people, but that's takes about as much time as it does to make a dozen holsters. Let's see. Ryan says no worry. Yeah, it'll be a while. I kind of want to get to where I'm done with all orders before I head up north, because I don't know how much time I'm going to have to do to make holsters up there. Once I get to working and trying to do holsters at the same time, it doesn't turn out well. There were some guys that ordered for me last year that waited forever to get their holsters, and some of them wound up not contacting me back. That's one of the ones that's for sale now, and that was nobody's fault but my own. You're going to take both the Gus style holsters, Garrett? Okay. Both Gus styles are spoke for. So, yeah, if you want a Walker holster, you got to wait now. All right, so I'll get those in, and they're cut out, and I just got to punch a holes and get them stitched out here. I got everything cut out for them. I just haven't stitched them yet because, like I said, I took some days off. because I was making all these holsters. This batch you see here, plus the 5 that went out that you didn't see that I shipped, there for quite a while. I was working clear up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, started working on them at noon after I got everything else done around the house, and then I go till 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and got to be fun times. Thankfully, I wasn't tired enough that I screwed any of them up, but I really screwed up my sleep schedule. I'll guarantee you that. Jeremy, Slim Jims for 5.5 inch. Yeah, I can make one just like this for 5.5. I've got this set up for single action Army and Remingtons. It'll do a 4. I got a pattern for a 4 3/4 inch single action Army, and then I got a pattern for 5.5, and I think I've got a 5.5 inch barrel pattern cut out. It may be a 4 3/4. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check, but I think it's 5.5 because it's the same pattern that one of my guys in the last batch of holsters ordered, custom one. So I'll double check that, Jeremy, but I think that's 5.5. If it's not, I've got a pattern. I can make one. All right. So got about 20 people viewing here. Other than that, if you've got anything you want to custom order, I've got a few other styles here that weren't in this pile. I've got a 5.5 inch double loop pattern. It's actually just like the one I showed you before. Only I put toe plugs on them now, but it's this style. This one here is a prototype for tooling that I haven't finished yet, which, I think my tooling looks like crap, but I've had people tell me it's not bad, but a professional told me it needed a lot of work, so I need a lot of work on my tooling. I've got that for 5.5, 4 3/4. Let's see here. I've got a pattern for a 8 inch for 1860 Army double loop, but I've only made 2 holsters for that, and both of them, one isn't cut out, and the other one my uncle has. Let's see, Jeremy, let me know. Okay, yeah, I'll let you know if I've got that one for 5.5 or 4 3/4. Well, hell, I pull it up here right quick, double check it. I don't drop my whole shelf on top of my head. The amount of books and stuff. So yeah, I've got 2 of these coming out that are going to be made here pretty soon. And these are for the pocket models. Anybody that needs a pocket model out there, which I made 3 of those last spring. And these things didn't sell. We're the crap. I had them on eBay, and then all of a sudden, one day they was gone. So I don't know if they've done a special on the small ones at the shops or not. Then this is the Gus style ones I've got, which I think they're both spoken for now. I think Garrett wants both of them. And yeah, this is the one I screwed up on. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it there, but it had some stamps. I didn't see them. See, with my eyes, I need to go back to the eye doctor because I'm getting to where my close-up vision isn't all that good. But I didn't see them until I got down there and I was cutting on them, and then it's like, oh, crap. All right, and this is all the part. I got all the parts and pieces cut out for this one. I just got a bunch of holes. And Jared, oh, God damn it, it's got the same thing on that too. So, yep, that one's got the same damn thing. Jesus, I need to go get my eyes checked. Son of a bitch. Anyway, this is going to be a 4 3/4, Jeremy. So, yeah, this is going to be a 4 3/4. So I'll have to cut another pattern when I get some leather in. So it's going to be a little while yet. Because I'm just like everybody else. I don't know if I've got I haven't checked my stimulus yet. If I got that, I could order leather. Between stimulus and taxes. And then waiting for everybody to get their holsters that's ordered in the last batch so that I can go ahead and use that money that I got set aside there. Because I don't spend that money until everybody's satisfied. Jeremy, for the price on those, I think I charge all the same rate. For that flowery one, this one, I don't know if I'll ever get this one finished to sell it. The big reason why I stopped finishing it is I was trying to do, and this is something that I should have done when I was more awake and not when I was half asleep, but the original pattern on this, and I think we've talked about this one before on one of the other chats, but it's a copy out of the Packing Iron book. It had some decorative design here on this part of the holster, so I wanted to replicate that. So I took a piece of scrap and I cut out a skirt, scrap, and I was going to start tooling it. And I was half asleep, and I set it down, went and did something, come back, picked up the wrong thing, and I started to try to do the decorative tooling on it, and I screwed it up. Then I tried to cover it up with a shader and realized that just made it look even more like shit. So this one, if I got the tooling done, I don't know what I'd sell this one for. Or if I just keep this as kind of because I don't have one for a 5.5 inch to show off, but I wasn't very happy with how this one turned out. I just was not pleased. So I don't know how much I would sell this one for. I'll have to think on it. If I ever made one that was decent, though, I guarantee you it would not be cheap. So I went on looking online the other day trying to. Hey, Kaido's on. Hey, Kaido. Been a while. Yeah, I need to test your bullets still, but one of these days I'll get out to the range and do that. They're still sitting in a bag on the shelf, along with all the other stuff I've got to do on YouTube yet, one of these days. But hopefully, maybe if I get up to Wyoming, I might get some time and do some YouTube stuff. I'll have to see what they've got for a shooting range up there. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I was looking on Etsy the other day, and I was looking at some of the holsters they got on there, and some of them, I'm not saying that, everybody, I don't want to talk down about anybody's work, but some of the quality on those for some of the price tags, I should be charging a little bit extra. Not that they weren't terrible holsters, but, they were not as finished as mine. I'll say it that way. They were good-looking holsters, but they weren't as finished as mine. Yeah, Kaido, I'm finally kind of getting over that corona where I can get out and get around. But God, I'm still walk around the yard. I get pretty damn winded. And it doesn't help that, I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes for a day for, 4 or 5 years. It was a pack and a half for 4 or 5 years before that. I think I smoked for about 10 years. And then I've chewed for several years after that, probably about 5. I still chew a little bit. Not like I was, though. Definitely not as bad as I was. All right. Kaido, I'd like to eat fresh pineapple, but God, trying to find that around here. When you do find it, it is spendy. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm taking it slow. I was able to get out in the yard the other day and do a little bit in the yard. I'm able to do stuff around the house, but going out on my long walks, doing hunting, that get pretty winded pretty fast. And of course, it doesn't help with the wind blowing my nose and stuffed up. I can't breathe anyway. All right. Howdy, Echo. So, yeah, that's kind of what I had tonight for the holsters. It's kind of, like I said, a slow night. But if you got any questions, go ahead and feel free to throw them on up there. Might go through and show the holsters again here in a few minutes if some more people sign on that I hadn't seen on there. But, yeah, it's just been kind of quiet and slow. See, we had the guys from 11 Bang Bang on last week, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them guys. Garrett's still there. I don't know if he's still there or not, but Yeah, it's been kind of a slower week. I've been playing with my new niece, so I'm on niece 3 now. And this one was born 2 months early, but she's doing pretty damn good. Serpent. I was thinking about watching that movie earlier today. Oh, Ryan, any plans for shooting videos soon? I would love to get out and do some shooting videos, but you all know how I'm situation with me paying to the NRA. You know, I'm not real fond of the guy who's currently running things up there. So I'm kind of reluctant to give him my money. And beings, I'm getting ready to move to Fort Laramie, up to the Fort Laramie area here pretty soon. It doesn't do good for me to buy NRA membership and then pay for the range membership when I'm going to be leaving in just a little over a month. So, not going to be doing any shooting videos real soon. But I'm going to look into shooting ranges up there in Wyoming. I don't know if Dustin's still there, but I know Dustin winds up, in Wyoming from time to time. And I thought about maybe we could try to see if we could find a range out there and do a video together. But I'm going to look around. I did look up and I did find a shooting range that's real close to one of the towns that I'm looking at maybe living in for a few months, but I don't know what the range membership costs are. They didn't advertise that. I know for a non-member, it's like $15 a day or something like that. But it's shaded range, public range, which the shade would be nice. But they're kind of, when I was reading on their rules, they're pretty stingent. I like the range that I go to now, where you just go out and shoot and set up. You're usually the only one there. Dustin's in Wyoming right now. Hey, Squib. Hey, Squib. I don't remember if I checked both your holsters, but there was a screw up and a bunch of them wound up going to Washington, and they was all supposed to have been delivered today. So I don't know if you checked, but hopefully they should be coming here this week. But you have 2 boxes, so of course you know that you saw the tracking information. Yeah, right. So that's basically what it is, Ryan. Is just going to be moving around. So eventually I'll get some shooting videos done, but shooting videos get spendy. Let's see. There's another one in here. Jeremy says, yeah, when you get a chance, my live stream earlier, someone asked for me to have you and 11 Bang Bang on. Yeah, let me know when you want to do it. I'll be willing to do it. Let's see. Echo says they're in Texas. Range is backyard. I wish I had enough acreage where I could have a range in the backyard. That's the one thing I miss about working on the ranch up in South Dakota is the boss had put a decent sized shop on. When I say decent sized, he built a huge building. But where he built it at, it kind of overlooked this one little pasture. And so we could get out to about 300 yards with a shooting range. When it was, 20 below, we just crack the window on that shop and shoot out the window. And when we get cold, we just close the window and let the heater come on. We never had to go out and shoot and sit in the cold. I do kind of really miss that about working on the ranch up there, but that and having the ability to go out and shoot 1,000 yards when the snow wasn't deep enough to keep you from getting to the targets. Oh, Garrett says we just got that old line 22 Colt pocket model. Haven and Building only have one paragraph on it. If you aren't costing any other books, let me go get the Severn book. What did I do with the Severn book? Oh crap! I had all these books here on the last live chat. I picked them up and I moved them, and I don't recall where I moved them to. Give me just a quick second. No, that's Barclay. We don't want Barclay. Oh, crap. I had all those books here. I picked him up and put him somewhere. There's Swayze. Well, shit. I'll have to get back to you on that, Garrett. I don't know what the heck I did with the books. I put them around here somewhere. Don't know where, but I put them around here somewhere. That's the thing about my house is I get everything out. Then I get busy. I don't get anything put back. Then I think I remember where I put it, and I go to look it up, and it's not there. We had, we was on the other computer. They're in the back room. I know exactly where they're at now. Okay. So, yeah, they're in the back room there. Let me go grab that right quick. Okay. Hey, Hootie's here. How you doing, Hootie? I watched one of your streams the other day, but I couldn't get my phone to work with it, so I didn't get to watch very much of it. Okay, so Garrett is asking on the old line 22 Colt Pocket. Let's see. They don't have jack for crap in the index. Oh, let me go through here. If Haven and Belden don't have much, there's probably not going to be much there. The only thing that Severn gets into is they go into the machine guns, they go into the shotguns, they go into the rifles. Then they've got the Walker Dragoon rifles, which are very rare. That's the Patterson accessories. Oh, hey. God, I need to look at that. They've got a freaking cylinder case for a Patterson. Yeah, it might be a leather project. Boy, they had some really strange signs back then. Anyway, I'm looking for a 22 old model Colt Pocket. And I know he's got some stuff in here. So I know which one you're talking about. I'm trying to think, but my mind is not wrapping it around it. There's the double actions. There's the 73 single actions. I got to be getting close. There we go. There's the new lines. Hey, we're doing pretty good over here so far, Hootie. Just been slower and slow. Yeah, Jeremy Dixie had. I looked earlier today or yesterday at them, and they're behind, way behind. Okay, there's the. Well, they call that the new line, and that's the closed top. And they've got these open tops here. So, Gary, you talking about the open top one? Because the book isn't talking about the old line. They just got new line and open top. That's how they describe them. And they've got a page on it. The new line, they've got a page and a half. Let's see. Jeremy, I'm feeling something. Yeah, on top of that, I got freaking heartburn. I've been having heartburn lately, too. Let's see. Now they got the 41. That's a 71 model. Colt's house pistol. Be nice if somebody made a copy of one of them. There's the Thur Derringer, which those little brass pistols got the single shot black powder ones that swing out. That's a copy of the Colt Thur. I didn't know that till the other day. Yeah, it's opened up. Okay, yeah. So let's see. They just give kind of a general description. 2 3/8, 2 7/8 on the barrel length. Describe the shape, the markings, the cylinder, 7 chambers. Talk about miscellaneous features, and then they have about 4 3-sentence paragraphs on comments. Let's see. Says there's a final design of the detachable barrel. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of information on there, but that is in Severn's book, James Severn's. And that's on page 211. So yeah, Haven and Belden's book is what, 600, 700, 800 pages. This one is 400, just about 400 pages. So Severn's a good supplement, but Haven and Belden's the best. And there's a lot of other supplements out there, like the 51 Navy book by Swayze. That's a good supplement. That's an excellent supplement if you ask me. Then there's another one. It's a newer one out there on the 60 Armies, which is it's a little more spendy. I haven't bought that book yet, which I noticed the other day. I was buying books. Freaking COVID's got the price of books jacked up. God, I used to be able to buy a used book that was in decent condition on Amazon and get it for like 25 cents and pay $4 shipping. Now, I can't get one for less than $10 with $5 shipping. It's getting ridiculous. Some of them books on there are getting really, really ridiculous. They had one copy of a book that I've already got. It was a good thing I went and double checked because I damn near ordered it, but it was $400. I was thinking about ordering. I'm glad I talked myself out of it, talked myself into going to the bookshelf and double checking. After you spend, buy a few of those expensive books and find out you got doubles, that's kind of a. That reminds me, Garrett, I'm going to send this one to you with your next order. So this is that extra 49 pocket model book I got. I was going to stick it in with your holster that you just ordered last time, but when I forgot it, so I'll stick it in your next order. Well, I got one I was going to send Dustin too. It's another one of those that it's not that I got it double as this. The book is actually a excerpt from the Severn book here. It's the chapter on the Dragoons. I was going to send to Dustin, which I've already let the cat out of the bag if he's still watching. All right. Oh, hey, now I got 11 emails, so. Well, that says I got 10 emails. Okay, yeah, Garrett, I got yours. Says there's another one I'm supposed to have there, but it's not there. Oh, well. Not that important. Let's go back over here and check. Oh, yeah, Dustin's there. So, yeah, Dustin, I'm sending you a book. Keep an eye out for it whenever I get back to the post office. All right, Charlie, folks, the 49 pocket bottle book is good. Yeah, it is. And I had ordered two of them. I ordered them the same day, so I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but I don't know if I got up early one morning, decided to order it, or and then I went to bed that night and said I need to still order it or what. But this is the one where they talk about the Wells Fargo being a misnomer because Wells Fargo has no record of ever buying a pocket model, and I think he's the one that attributes that the pocket model name came from the engraving on the cylinder of the Stagecoach, which that dates back clear to the Patterson days, if I remember right. Oh, let's see. Jeremy, I've got one backward carbine, so one on Frontier guns. Yeah, there's some good ones on. I've got one. I think the one I've got is Guns of the Fur Trade. That's a pretty good general book. Mike Bellevue recommended one for me because I heard him reference that the Colt Dragoons are used for buffalo hunting, which I have no doubt. But when I get ready to put together kind of a frontier buffalo hunter portrayal, I got to be able to document that. So he recommended another book. I can't remember what it was. I can look it up on the Facebook chat, but it was Guns of the American Frontier, I think. I'd have to double check. But yeah, there's lots of good books out there. It's just that, unfortunately, some of these books are just as much a collector item as some of the guns that they're about. That Severn book, I don't remember what I paid for it, but I know it wasn't cheap. I got lucky. The Haven and Belden I got for $10. That thing can range from $10 to $100 to $200, depending on who's selling it. I found a Patterson book for $40. That thing now is up to like $400. That Swayze book, I got it for, I think I paid, I don't remember what I paid. Didn't think I paid that much compared to what some of the other ones were worth. Now it was, the last listing I seen was $90. And then they've got the 1860 model book out there, which is a fairly new one to me anyway. I don't know when exactly it was originally published, but that one's 65, which isn't terrible. One of these days I'll get that one, add it to the book collection. It's safe to say that I've spent more money on books than I've ever spent on guns. And I spent a lot of money on both. That's why I don't have I eat mostly ramen diet or borrow or beg food off the family. Yeah. And it's nice being single too. I can afford that shit. Oh, Dustin, that's funny. Yeah, I can't afford a Barrett. You almost have to take out a second mortgage to get a Barrett. Although I was looking, who was it? Oh, I think it was Demolition Ranch. He's shooting that little single shot 50 cal. You got to screw the back of it off to load it. I was thinking about trying to get one of them because they ain't too spendy, but they're still a hell of a lot more spendy than I want to spend money on. Plus, I don't know if I really want to shoot a 50 cal. They're kind of expensive. That nowhere around here, any ranges around here will let you shoot it. Because 50 cals are banned on state public land. They're banned at the shooting range I shoot at, I think. Because somebody went there with a Barrett one day and shot up the trap house, so that's why they were kind of pissy about having Barretts or 50 cals up there. But yeah, there's not a lot of places where I could shoot one. Love to have one. I love to have a Ma Deuce. Doom, 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 doom. Oh yeah, Dustin. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, just make all your kids sell a kidney, then you can buy it. All right. I'm stuffed up. I'll be glad when this wind gets the hell out of here and all the pollen quits blowing around, the dust quits blowing around, and I can breathe again before I have to start taking allergy meds because I hate taking them. Jeremy, that's funny on the cat thing. My former boss, him and his wife had that agreement. Every time she brought a cat home, he got to go to the gun store. And she quit bringing cats home for a while. And one day he comes in, there's these 3 new kittens sitting on the couch, and she says, just by the gun store. It was funny. Okay, I got a couple here. Early, yeah, I'll go over that again. Let me get back to you on that. Let me get to Serpent here. If I filmed any material for any of the Colt open top revolvers, I was just thinking about that. Well, technically all the Colt black powders are open top. But yeah, I do have one video on the Richards Mason. I might have 2 videos on the Richards Mason. I don't remember. Got 1 or 2 on the Richards Mason. And then I've got one where I was trying to address a light trigger on my 1851 conversion. And that one, we didn't do much shooting because the front sight went, second shot, front sight was gone. It flew out, and my uncle just happened to see it hit, and he went over and picked it up, and I haven't shot that gun since. 11 bang bang. Perfect. Let's see. So Jeremy getting Rough Rider. God, I had such a bad experience with Heritage when I first come out that I'm just reluctant to ever even try to buy another one. Don't get me wrong, I like my little Heritage when I had it, but it took a lot to get it working again. So early pricing on holsters. So, let me get what I got written down in front of me here. So on the Walker Gus style, which both of these ones that are cut out are spoken for. So if you want to order one, you're going to have to wait a little while because I got to get more leather in. So any custom orders are going to be out for a little bit. But this style Gus, it's just a California Slim Jim style barrel will stick out on the Walker. It stick out a little bit on the Dragoon. $65 for them. Yeah, forgive me, I'm getting stuffed up again here. $65 on these style Slim Jims. This is for Navy. I've got one that's got a triple reef curve throat. I've got a pattern. I'm going to modify it a little bit. I'm thinking about modifying this pattern here because the other one I had just was a real thin piece to come up over the trigger guard. And I sold a lot of them, but I didn't like that style too much. So I'm thinking I'm going to modify this pattern a little bit for a trigger relief for the triple recurve. But Slim Jims run 65. The Slim Jim half flaps, like this one, it's got the flap that keeps it in place. Those run 70. Let's see. Triple loop, Mexican triple loop usually runs 75. Double loops run 65. I think I was 65 is what I was running on the double loops. I've got this one here that's on special for 60. And you have to order those through the email. If I don't, I was going to add this earlier. Okay, so on all these holsters that we talked about earlier that I showed and I gave you the pricing on, if you want to order them directly from me, I'm going to let them sit here until Saturday night, midnight. Sunday, they're getting put on Etsy, and then you'll have to buy from them. I'm not going to screw around with eBay because eBay's charging 12.5% interest. And somebody told me eBay was pretty anti-gun. I hadn't been checking up on that, but I checked on Etsy, and they're not exactly the friendliest either. But they only charge 5%, 5% of what I make. So I'm saving myself 7.5%. But yeah, I'm not gonna list them on eBay. So yeah, hopefully that. I gotta go catch up on the chat here. See, Joel trying to get an open top Colt reproduction, but everyone is out of stock. Yeah, they're going to be that way for a while. The only thing I seen in stock was, the hell was it? It was 62 Pocket Police on Midway. Is what was in stock last time I looked. No, I take that back. It was Midway. It was Midway because Dixie, I couldn't figure out what they had in stock and what they didn't. Early for Remington Army. Yeah. The one I've got specifically for them right now that I'm offering is this one here, which is a half flap. This one is I've got it on. This one's currently on Etsy for $75. So this would be for the full length. If you want the shorter for like the 5.5 inch, you're gonna have to wait till I get leather in. So like I said, that'll be a couple weeks. 11 bang bang. Found a mongoose laying in a ditch in Syria once. I wanted to adopt it, but leadership discriminated. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I'd love to adopt a mongoose, but God, that'd take a lot of money. Arrowhead, have I ever fired the 1858 Remington carbine? I'm dying for one. I've passed on two in the past for great prices. Nice killing me. I had a chance to buy one for $400, and I wished I would have done it, but I didn't because I, was being responsible and didn't spend money. No, I've never fired one. But just remember, if you do fire one, you want to keep your hands behind the cylinder because you ever get a multiple discharge chain fire. Fingers out in front holding the barrel up. They ain't gonna have the fingers for long. Bang bang couldn't get your CO to sign off with the whole NFA thing. Yeah. Kevin Collier, howdy. Arkansas, Herbert Gun, and Pawn has a 1860 Army and 45 Colt. Now, there's a few of them starting to show up. There's stuff starting to show up, but, it's still limited. EMF doesn't have anything in stock, and they're Pieta's importers, so anything that comes in from Italy, I'm pretty sure is going to come in through them first, Pieta-wise. And somebody told me that they were starting to get a few more others that were starting to show up. So things are starting to show up a little bit, but there's not a lot. And Italy got hit so damn hard, they haven't been producing them. So Arrowhead 1976, I passed on one for $360 and one for $200. And I went into Cabela's, and I wish I still had Bargain Cave, but I went into a Bargain Cave one day and they had one there for $400. I think the only thing that was wrong with it is there was a scratch on the stock. And then they had a Kentucky rifle there for $200 that the stock was completely busted on. It was zip tied to the keep it on the gun. I could have bought that because the Pedersoli, it was a Pedersoli, but their barrels, I really like Pedersoli barrels. I've had fairly decent accuracy from Pedersoli barrels. I just don't like Pedersoli locks. I've never been a fan of Pedersoli locks, except for my Brown Bess lock. I love that lock. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, Brazil got hit hard. Yeah, everybody got hit hard. It'll get better eventually. Might be 1 year, might be 4. It's got to get better sometime. But yeah, I haven't been. I've been going to mean to go down to my local gun store, the one that I really like, because they just moved into their new building. They moved out. They used to be in one of those little tiny home sheds, kind of like a little tough shed, which that was way too small for the amount of business they was doing. But they were just starting out. I think they've been in business for a little over a year now. And I just found out that they opened their new building, and I need to get down there and look. They've got some stuff in stock. They had, I think I got in a couple Glocks the other day. They had a handful of other stuff, but they they are starting to get some more stuff in. Yes, Glib. It's getting ridiculous. I seen there's some people were trying to start a thing on Facebook here the other day saying, don't buy ammo for until April 15th so that we can maybe drop the price of ammo and give the companies time to catch up. But I don't know if you remember way back in 2012 and 2013, it was doing the same damn thing then. Price of ammo was high, couldn't hardly find nothing. The one gun store that I went to up in Rapid City, old First Street or 7th Street, or First Gun. That one, at that time, you could walk in and get ammo for the same price that you was buying it before. They never jacked their prices up, but yeah, I heard that this time around though they did jack their prices. Back in 2012, I remember that was the only store you could get ammo at the same price. You could get 45 Colt 4440 for $35 a box. Plowboy's in. Howdy, Plowboy. Yeah, scalpers will still screw you up. Shit, if I was to sell all the 40 Smith & Wesson ammo I've got here that ain't being used for the scalped up prices, man, I can make enough money to buy another gun. Yeah, Squib, the 2012 one, that was the 22 ammo drought. Jesus, it seemed like it took 3 or 4 years after that before I could find 22 ammo on the shelf that I could buy. And it never went back down to the pre-prices. Because, Jesus, you could go into Walmart and you get a 500-round brick of 22 for, I think it was $20. You get a 300-round brick for 15. Then after that went up, God, it was about $45 for 20. About doubled once everything got back to normal, but it's not going to be fast. It's going to take a long time for things to get back to normal. But I'm just hoping that percussion caps and stuff start showing back up, and powder starts showing back up, primers start showing back up. Somebody told me that primers are really starting to show back up, but yeah. Oh, Squib, yeah, I remember AR Max for $90. I remember Operation Boulder Airlift. I spent $1,000 on AR magazines. I didn't even own an AR at the time. I was just trying to get them bought and get them into the state of Colorado before they passed the law saying you couldn't buy them. And yeah, I got my order in too late. By the time they fulfilled it, those already the law had went through, so I wound up getting a refund on that. But yeah, they weren't cheap then. Oh, let's see. Some people were starting to jump in here. Now my chat's going crazy. See, Squib was the last one I read. Casey Scott. Hey, how you doing, Casey? Yeah, $5 a brick. That was a long time ago. Seemed like when I started hunting, we couldn't get the brick in. We just get the little bitty 50-round boxes. Because that's all Walmart had at the time. I don't remember. I think I remember paying 99 cents or $1.99 or something like that. I could buy them pretty cheap. I could get 25 rounds of 16 gauge shotgun shells for $4. So if I saved up, 2 or 3 weeks worth of wages, I could buy my hunting ammo for the year. But then I remember when, a administration that I won't mention here came in, and the price of ammo doubled. So my 16 gauges went to $8 a box. The 22s went to $2 or $3 a little square. And that was about the time they started carrying the bricks down there at Walmart. And I remember them being about $20. But yeah. Could always be worse, though. You gotta remember, you could always have a gay brother that, or you can have a Siamese twin brother that's gay, has a date, and you're the only one with a butthole. Oh, let's see. Okay, now my chat's going real crazy here. Oh, I'm trying to get caught up here. Plowboy says he's still seeing folks trying to get $500 for 1,000 primers. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I'm glad I got primers. I just haven't been reloading because, like I said, I can't get to my shooting range. So I've got, I don't know how many primers I got. There for a while, I was just buying that stuff every chance I got, but I need to go in and go re-inventory. I don't remember what I had. I remember mentioning it on the live chat one night, but I got to go back and count it again. Oh, let's see. God dang it, this thing is a freaking jumps around. Casey Scott, I'll just read the newest ones. I reload everything except for 22 long rifle. Hey, if you go to 22 reloader kit, Google that, you can start reloading 22 long rifle too. With they even give you a little bullet mold. You can have a real light, tiny little bullet, or you can have a standard size bullet. I've been thinking about doing it, and they even got a recipe on there for using match heads to reload them. The only downside is you got to buy the reloading compound, but hell, that reloading compound will prime 2,000 cases. Kevin says he gets to sit up his reloading bench after moving. Perfect. I got to tear mine down if I'm going to take it with me when I move, which I don't think I'm going to do because I ain't going to be that far away from home. If I need to reload ammo, I'll just come home and reload it. That, or if I need to reload like 45 Colt, I can borrow my uncle's little Lyman Ideal tool. So, Casey, I think it was you. One or two, I think it was 2 live chats ago. Somebody was telling me about a leather sole machine that was just like a Landis. And I can't remember what you said, and I didn't bother to go back to that chat to try to find it because it was, I don't remember when we discussed it. But if you can, whichever one of you was telling me about that, if you could remind me, refresh my memory about what sewing machine that was, I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, Casey was the one that was telling me about it because I didn't see the link. I remember you telling me about it, but I didn't see the link pop up. Checking that. Whoops. And Garrett, if you're still out there, just a heads up, you might get a email from me in the next day. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but showing you a picture of the holsters that I showed, or that holster I showed you on here. So just give you a heads up. Can't remember now if I told you that or not. I probably did. I'm good at forgetting stuff. My short-term memory is, especially this week. Casey, yeah, I didn't see it in the email. Of course, it could have went to spam. I never checked the spam folder. Hey, I got 3 in the spam. No, I've got people trying to get me to join their fashion show, and somebody want me to go with web design, and somebody that wants me to speak Spanish. Well, she asked me if I speak English, but she had to ask it in Spanish, so that's obviously spam. Yeah, I didn't get that, Casey. Yeah, Dustin, me in a fashion show. Oh, Jesus. That would be repulsing, to say the least. All right. Kevin says on reloading, if you have a Dillon 550, you can use the Leaf Pro Auto Disc Measure on the 550. You can set up 3 tool heads for the price of 1 Dillon powder measure. I would love to have a Dillon, but I just can't afford a Dillon. So I have a Lee single stage. Because most of what I reload is just my 6.5 Creedmoor and 223. I was trying to do some more precision loads, so I was reloading them one at a time. I'd love to have a progressive press, but for what I reload, I just have a single stage. And my former boss up in South Dakota, I talked him into getting a turret press. And so we set up the turret, but it got to be a pain in the butt because he's reloading 300 Win Mag, and that turret press wouldn't turn with 300 Win Mag. It was just the bolts, the overall length was just a little too tall. So we took the turret system out, and we just had it set. And basically what we do is reload like we're doing on a single stage press, but instead of it rotating every time, we just do all of them at once, and then we just turn the die, reload all these, and it works a lot better that way. Dustin. Oh, God. That would be fun, doing Old West Fashion Show. That would be the laughing stock of YouTube. Yeah, Squib, I had a chance to buy a Dillon 550 with everything, $700, 1,000 rounds of 4440 brass, all the reloading components for all 1,000 rounds, dies, press, everything. I mean, it was ready to go. $700, and I was in college and I couldn't swing it. I could have swung it now. Well, I'd have made it swing now, but you wouldn't get a deal like that ever again. Yeah, at the time, that was what I shot, was 4440. Squib load. Yeah, I got chaps. My ass don't fit in them anymore. I got them when I was skinny in high school. I'm about 100 pounds heavier than I was in high school now. Yeah, Kevin, I went up to a gun store up in South Dakota, and the guy does custom reloading too, which he's very nice guy, runs a nice store, he treats you right. But I would never buy one of his 6.5 reloads ever again because I had to take a damn 2x4 to get them out of my gun, get the bolt to come out. Anyway, he ran a 3 Dillon 550s, and they was on that automated thing, and it was connected to his phone. So he'd go into the thing, set it up to where it would reload, then he'd go home and sit and watch MASH or something. And if it had a problem that flipped up on his phone, he'd go in and fix it, which he only lived 2 blocks away from the store. Oh. Casey Scott, should I break your heart about the Dillon 550B? Oh, boy. Well, just do it gently. Kevin says, I nearly gave a heart attack to 3 girls when I walked into a Speedo shop in Oahu. I weigh over 300 pounds and they nearly Yeah, I'm pushing that 300 mark, and I'm going to make a change this summer. Yeah, I'm going to make a change here for that. Is getting to where I can't hardly bend over and grab my shoes anymore. Not that I don't get around, like I still get around like I've slowed down since I got COVID, and I've gained a lot of weight since I got COVID, but I still get out and get around for as heavy as I am. But I need to get down. Just not happy. Let's see. Yeah, Plowboy. Can't walk through a grocery store with the Rogans on. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. They got it doesn't matter if they've got the hobnails or not. The leather soles or the hobnails. They slide around on them slick floors. I don't know how many times I busted my butt when I was working down at the fort, going to cover the bookstore and walk in, and I mean, freaking feet right out from underneath me. My butt hit the floor. And then the supervisor would come in, and he had hobnails on his boots, and he'd kind of walk like he had a corn cob up his butt. Casey, you lucky son of a gun. You got 2 550s. I wish I had 2. Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, you can run a turn as one stage. You just got to take that feeder thing out so it doesn't rotate. We pulled the whole thing out on the boss's one, but there's a little plastic collar on there. You just take that off and it quits. We found out doing that 300 Win Mag. Jesus, you couldn't run that turret. Oh, let's see. Holy crap. Jesus, Casey. God, you got lucky on that one. I got lucky on lead. Coworker, his dad run a gun store, and his dad passed, unfortunately and unexpectedly. And they had to sell the whole stock because my buddy's felon, so he couldn't take any of that. But they was selling some of the stuff, and they had some stuff left over, and he asked me if I wanted it. And I said, yeah. I said, I'll take what you got left over. He said, well, I got, lots of bullet recasting or bullet casting stuff. And I said, well, I'd gladly take that off your hands for you. And he brought me probably 100 pounds of lead. There was half of it was soft lead. The other half was mixed. And then I've got like 10 or 12 pounds of what I think is, it's either antimony or tin. I can't tell. Because he was mixing his own. Guy made his own bird shot for shotguns. Unfortunately, I didn't get the shot maker, but I got the lead, and I got some bullet molds, which I don't even know what the bullets are to. I think they're 357s. The only problem with the bullet molds is they set out. They got water on them because they was at the bottom of the bucket. I didn't know they was in there, and they rusted up. So I don't know if they make good bullets anymore or not. Oh, yeah, Casey. You lucky son of a gun. Well, can't complain too much. I got lucky on a walker, so. Actually, I got lucky on a Carcano, too. I got a 6.5 Carcano carbine that I got for free, so can't complain too much. Once in a while, get lucky. Thought I got lucky on this 49 pocket model, which I'm going to go ahead and show because it doesn't even work, so it's not even really a functional firearm. I bought this one on an auction. I think by the time I paid the buyer's premium and all this other crap, I got it for about $250, $260. And you notice that when you pull the hammer, if you pull the trigger, you don't go. Thought I got lucky on that one, but I got a piece of junk. And sorry, me saying Marco on the spring don't match up with you, Birdie, so I got to custom make a spring for that. And I'm getting hiccups too. Jesus, Plowboy, you're getting lead for $1 a pound? Holy crap. I thought lead was going for about $3 a pound. Yeah, I've got a crap ton of lead. I've probably got 400 pounds of lead. I'm not sure how much. I've got it laying around. But I've casted a ton of bullets. I've casted a bunch of the air's gone bullets. I've got round balls. I've got so many casts, I don't even know what I've got anymore. But, yeah, the only thing I don't like dealing with wheel weights is I got into some wheel weights that was zinc, and they got mixed in with my lead, and that crap, once it gets in with lead, that lead just does not act right. Yeah, Kevin, I'm thinking about doing that one of these days, but, it's just kind of been on the back burner. I know one of them, it's not pitted rust, it's just surface rust. It's just turned it red, but I need to go back and find out what all them molds are. And they're not the cheap molds either. They're those expensive Lyman molds that, it's $75 for a mold, $75 for the handles. Ryan, I wish I had a place to cast. Set up a little table outside. That's really all you need. Plug in. Unless you live in an apartment, that might be a little bit more difficult. Holy crap, 5 buckets of wheel weights. Yeah, that's... See, I use them wheel weights for fishing weights when we cast them, which I need to get a new mold for that too, because we don't have a mold for the heavier stuff, a 3 and 5 ounce. But yeah, it's I just don't like dealing with wheel weights too much. I save that harder lead for my fishing weights. All right, so we've been running for about an hour and a half, and I know some of you folks come in late, so chime in here. You want me to go through and show you the holsters again, or you want to go back and watch it later, or if you want to, I'll run through them all again here before we shut down. Yeah, 5-gallon bucket full of wheel weights. That's not light. And if you're not got a good bucket, that bucket ain't going to last very long. Okay, everybody's saying show them again. All right, so I'll start off at the top of the pile. All right, for you folks that haven't seen them yet, or those of you that just want to see them again. So this one is, I kind of call this the universal style. It's Remington, our old model Army, Colt single action Army. You might stuff a Dragoon in there. Don't quote me on that. This one is on Etsy for $75. And by the way, the Etsy link to the store is right down below in the video description here. Yeah, this one's $75 on there. This was a custom order, and the guy never got back to me. So, but like I said, that was my fault. It took too long to get there. Then I got a left-hander. This is actually the second holster I made for sale, and then the guy never paid me. It's been sitting at my uncle's house for 2 or 3 years, whenever it was. I forgot when I started doing this. Pretty sure this one is on for $50 on Etsy. Let me double check. Yeah, this one's on for $50 over there. So you can buy that left-handed, fits 5.5 inch, probably work for 4 3/4 inch too. Single action Army, probably fit a Remington. And then we got this style. So this is kind of still in the prototype stage. somebody had asked about a Billy the Kid holster, and this one's very similar to that. This one I just made, and I realized I need to tighten the straps up, the loops up a little bit. This holster doesn't slide out as easy, but it still does slide out. So if you got a tight fitting gun, you might have to do something there to get it to stay, or just push it off with your thumb when you draw it. This one I've got down for a special. I'm running this as a special, so $60. Normally it needs to be $65. Future models list, so I'm going to widen out these loops and tighten them up just a little bit. I've got its brother. So this one is the first of that model. Actually, no, I take that back. It's the second. My dad's got the first one. So this is the second one of that model. This is one where I was trying to work on some tooling, and I forgot I had done some basket weave, and apparently I did a pretty decent job on this one. But this one kind of got screwed up when I put all these spots into the tooling on here. These stretched out, so this holster is super loose in the loops. If you wind up buying that, you might have to punch a couple holes down the bottom and just tie it up. Should work for 5.5 inch, 4 3/4. I know a 4 3/4 will fit in it. This one, even though it's all fancy and stuff, bangs, it's got those issues. I did not finish it. I didn't figured if I wasn't going to sell it for that much, I wasn't going to put all the work into it. This one will go for $50. Let's see. I got a triple loop here. So this one, really the only thing wrong with it is that the Maker's Mark stamp bounced on me when I was making it, and I did not want to send it to the guy as it was, so I wound up making him another one. And then this one, I just sewed up and figured I'd sell it for cheaper. So this one's $65. It's a special. And then the next 4 here that I've got are essentially the same pattern. Got some different style of belt loops options. The first 2 are the civilian half flaps. So this one is the medium brown. This is light brown. And the medium brown has the folded over belt loop that's sewed on the bottom. I did not put a rivet on this one. And then this one's got the flush belt loop. Both of these are going for $70 a piece. This one is the one. Or is it this? Well, one of them is listed on Etsy, so go check it out on Etsy. It's over on the Etsy page. And the other one will be listed if it doesn't get sold here in the next few days. It'll be listed there shortly as well. And then the next 2 are basically the same pattern, but these are, instead of half flaps, these are just basically your regular open tops. So this is the left-handed cross draw, or right side cavalry. This is a medium brown color. It's got the flush mount belt loop. And by the way, all these have toe plugs in them. All these Slim Jim styles. So these Slim Jims are $65. They're not on Etsy yet. This one's dark brown. And these were all done with airbrush, and airbrush gives a lot better coating, looks a lot better. I noticed that the dye doesn't penetrate as deep, so when I cleaned up the bronzing off this with the alcohol, it's got some light areas, but I think that makes it look a little bit more antique. And this one is a straight draw, and it does have a riveted and sewn belt loop. And the rivet is set deep enough, and I think it's in a spot where it will not rub on the gun. And it's just got one rivet. It does not have a rivet on the top. It's just riveted on the bottom. And what I've seen in living history, when I've worn these holsters, the bottom is the one that usually tears out the first anyway. So yeah, those are what I got for sale. So the ones that are not on Etsy already, if you want to buy them, you can send me a direct email. The email's there on the screen. And you can buy them that way. Shipping on them, all of them, is standard $20, and I do standard $20 shipping up to 2 holsters. I might be able to swing 3, depends on the type of holsters you order and how much room there is in the box. If they aren't sold by Saturday at midnight, they're going to go up on Etsy on Sunday, and then you buy them through there. So you have to pay a little extra on taxes and fees and stuff. But yeah, I've got them here. Like I said, I'll take orders until Saturday at midnight, which is 2 days. So next couple days, just shoot me an email, and if you want one of them, and we'll get it to you. And then if you want to do custom orders, you're gonna have to wait here for a little while, because I gotta wait for some leather to get in. Okay, Kevin's heading out. See you, Kevin. Squib asked if I ever make a holster with a thumb break. No, I have not. I tried to make a copy of a pancake holster, and then the pattern I found out that was sent to me was a pattern used by one of the bigger makers out there, so I decided against using it, but it was for a 1911, and it was a thumb release. And then my uncle wound up ordering a holster that had the exact same pattern, so I imagine it was from that same company. But what my uncle paid for that holster and what he got, he paid $100 for this 1911 holster, pancake style, thumb break. And the company he ordered it from, I would have expected a much higher quality. I'm not going to mention that company's name. But when he got it, that thing they had dipped in neat's foot oil. I assume it was neat's foot. They had dipped it in there and they pulled it out. That thing was just a greasy dish rag. And he paid $100 for it. If I had made that holster, I don't think I would have charged much more than 50 or 60, maybe 70 at the most, for what he got. But I was not impressed with that holster, and the finish on it, it wasn't very impressive for that particular company, who've been known by others to make better quality holsters. So, but yeah, that was the only time I tried to venture into it, and I didn't go very far with it. Now it looks like the chat's kind of slowing down here, but I ought to go back and read back what was in there while I was showing off holsters, because I missed a couple here. Yeah, Plowboy, you're running them harder. Yeah, you can run the harder bullets. All it takes is one wheel weight and 20 pounds of lead or one zinc wheel weight and 20 pounds of lead to screw up a batch for using as muzzle loaders. Okay, so Jeremy dropped out. Yeah, Plowboy, I wish we did leave it a little closer, but we're kind of far away. Might take me a couple days to get down there. I gotta go find all my lead too. God, I've got a bunch of it outside. I don't even know where it wound up at. I've got a huge chunk of lead that was given to me by a buddy at work, and it's the pure soft stuff. I don't know what the hell this was, if it was an old door frame or what, but that thing was that long. I wound up donating some of it to work, so we could make lead bars down there, historic lead bars. It was that long. It was like that deep. And we tried to chop that thing up to turn it into, God, we sit there for 3 hours with a log splitter and a sledgehammer chopping that stuff up. And it was soft lead, but God, it took forever to chop it up. Finally got it chopped up and we melted some of it, but I've got the other half of what was not used sitting here in my house. I need to chop it up and get it put into ingots. Okay, Casey, let me check that right quick. Hey, yep. Got it. Let's take a look at that sucker right quick. Oh. That is pretty. Looks like it's not near as big as the line as its tabletop. They don't have a price on it, though. I'm going to have to look at that. Yeah. One review. Yeah, I wish I had a price tag on it so I knew how much they wanted. But imagine a machine like that, they want a pretty good amount. See you, Serpent. Yeah, thank you, KC. That is a nice looking machine, but wish I knew how much they wanted for this call for pricing. Go back to the chat here. Okay. Casey, I seen them still used for $3,500. That's what I figured. They're probably way up there, a little bit further out than what my setup would let me spend money on. If I was making more orders, I'd buy one though. Squib load. Any gun belt recommendations to complement your holsters? I make my own belts. I don't make them for sale. So like I said, I'd have to have a sewing machine before I could do that. And really, the only gun belts I bought, I didn't buy it. My uncle bought it. That it come from. It was Historical Emporium, something like that. And it's one of those El Cheapos. The belt ain't bad, but it's not great either. I think it holds like 15 rounds of ammo. So, yeah, I can't really recommend off the top of my head. And the other gun belt I had somebody made me, that was custom made at a leather shop. That was before I got into making holsters because I was still in college. I had a guy make me a belt for 45-70 rounds. Yeah, I don't have a recommendation off the top of my head. Other than maybe try what's his name? David Carico Leather. He makes some good stuff. Carico is like the next tier of quality. I wished I made stuff as good as him. Don't get me wrong, I think I make pretty good stuff, but Dave Carico has been doing it for a lot of years. He got a lot more experience, and he got a lot prettier tooling, that's for damn sure. Redneck Wookie. Duke, what happened? I don't know. You tell me. Casey, I seen him sell, or that was the one I already read. I was going to read the next one. Casey, a new used Cobra goes for $2,500. Yeah, that's still out of my price range. Oh, okay, got you, Redneck. Okay, yeah, autocorrect. I ain't fond of that either. We're all good there. Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on one of them. Maybe one of these days when I get enough orders. Because I tell you what, hand stitching is getting to be a bit of a pain. And I noticed the other day, too, on my freaking edger. This one is it's a number 4, but it's a round bevel. I don't know if you see that, but I got a straight one, which cuts a huge swath. And then I've got this round one that cuts not so bad. 11 bang bangs out. C11. I hadn't really sharpened this since I got it, and it's been working great. What I noticed the other day, it was starting to kind of dig into the leather on this one side. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to take a file and just kind of touch that a little bit so it glides over and doesn't cut in. Just kind of dull it down a little bit. I know more was thinking that, and I slipped and I ran that son of a gun right into my middle finger. That thing is a hell of a lot sharper than I thought it was. So I got to dress that up. But then my uncle bought one, and I was using that over his place, and he had sharpened it. Only he put it on the strop and just sharpened it all and sharpened the legs and everything. And I went to go do an edge, and it went right through the middle of the leather. I had to throw a holster in the scrap pile. Or damn near had to throw it in the scrap pile. And then I screwed up. I don't know if I said this on the last live chat too. I screwed up my damn stitch groover. It was my good one too. So this is the first stitch groover I bought. Come in a kit. I've used this thing so much that I've worn the finish off of it. But it was getting to where I noticed it was starting to turn, and it wasn't, cutting the edges like it should. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I'd have to run it with my finger on the damn thing like that to get it to cut. And I went to pick it up one day, and the handle fell out of it. The reason why it was turning is because it had just wore the handle out. So I took it over to my uncle's, and I got my epoxy out. And I mixed them up, and I put it in the handle, and I went to pick this up, the head up to put it in there, and I dropped it on the floor. I didn't think nothing of it. I picked it up, stuck it in there, got it set where I wanted it, got it glued up, was looking good, looking nice, and brought it home, and I went to go cut some edges with it, and it would not cut worth a crap. It was just digging and tearing the leather. So I got to looking, and when it dropped, it hit right on the cutting surface and just busted the cutting surface right off of it. And it's such a fine little thing. That camera's not going to pick it up, so I'm not even bother to show it. But it's basically ruined it. I don't think I can rebevel it to fix it because it broke it so damn deep in there. Just rolled that cutting edge right on out. So this one's out. I've been having luck with tools, I can say that. So I've been using this one, which I see the leg is gone. So I'm going to have to go find the leg. I know why it's gone, because I was practicing trying to do some freehand grooving. So yeah, I got to find the leg, put that back in there. But yeah, that's the one I've been using. I really don't care for this one that much. This is the one that instead of the cutter being on the arm, the cutter's in line here, and then the arm is the guide. And I don't know. I just don't really care for this tool. Cut's okay, but I just don't really like it. Yeah, Squib, Caraco is the one I recommend. That's if you want historical leather belt. Otherwise, I couldn't recommend anybody in particular. But I did make a belt for myself. I'll show you right quick. Let me go grab it. I did make a belt for my fancy holster and the knife sheath to go with it. And this is just real simple. It's just a straight piece of leather. I put a clip corner buckle. It's the only one I could find for 2 inches with a clip corner. I'd rather had a rounded or a just regular square, but they had the clip corner, which it works fine. And then made the belt and had to trim it down on the sides because my belt strap cutter slipped on me when I was cutting, so it went from 2 inches to 2 1/4 down here on the end, but it worked out all fine. But I was using one of those Tandy pieces, and there's a couple of them Tandy pieces I got that I wasn't all that impressed with. And right here towards the end of the belt, it's got a big tear scar thing on it. And the other reason why I hadn't used this leather for anything is my uncle was spraying Lysol in his house one day, and I had this. So at the time I was doing all my work over there at his house, and he sprayed some Lysol in the air to kind of freshen the air in the house, and the Lysol got on the leather and spotted it. And I doubt you can see. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it. It's got white spots all over it. So that's the other reason I don't use this leather. Didn't use that leather up. But I figured for a belt for me, it would work fine. Squib. Yeah, I think everything I've got now should fit a 2-inch belt. In fact, I'm pretty certain everything I make now is for a 2-inch belt. Let me double check. I've got 2 2-inch belts here so we can accomplish this. I know these, the Mexican loop holsters, they will fit a 3-inch. Or 2-inch with cartridges, if they're sitting over the top of cartridges. So let me grab my other belt that I know for sure is 2 inches because I bought it offline as 2 inches. So this one, 2-incher. And that fits about as tight as you're going to get. I mean, that is pretty dead gum tight on there. So that's 2 inches. That'll fit that one. Your Walker holster has this style of belt loop on it, and that one is riveted just because of the extra weight of that Walker. So kind of keep that in mind, but I'm pretty certain I got the rivets placed to where they won't ride on the metal. If they don't, well, at least they're copper. They're softer than steel. And this one could probably get up to 2 1/4. So that will fit a 2-incher. And I know that the flush fits, all these flush fits fit a 2-inch. I know that. Getting it in there, though, is the other part of the story. That's the one downside about these flush fits, or it could be the positive side. If you don't have a good stiff belt, you have a hard time getting them on there, and you cannot slide them on with a gun in them. At least not when you first get them. So yeah, that'll fit a 2-inch. And the nice thing about these, I fit them a little bit big, so if you want to carry them straight up and down, you just turn them, and they'll go straight up and down. Or if you want to carry them cross draw, you just slide them that way. Yeah, when if you ever get a holster from me that has this style on there, just keep in mind they are super tight when you first go to put them on a belt, and you cannot do it with a gun in them. But after they sit on a belt for a while, let me show it on this holster. After they sit on a belt for a while, they start to kind of stretch out and accommodate the belt. And this particular belt here, I bought this off Amazon. I forget what the length was. I think it was a 54-inch. I wound up getting it. It's supposed to be 54. I wound up with 48. Ordered this. It's supposed to be veg tan, 8 ounce. It's not. It's 8 ounce chrome tan. It's too damn soft for veg. And then I ordered the buckle. This was the buckle I wanted to put on the other one. Roller. This was the idea I had for that other one, but couldn't find a 2-inch roller buckle online anymore. This was supposed to be a Bohannon holster, or Bohannon belt. It's supposed to go with my Bohannon holster. But I wound up selling my only Bohannon holster that I kept for myself. So then I wanted the longer belt because Cullen has his kind of tight around itself on his belt. But now it serves for my half flap, which is the home for my 1860 Army. So that goes on there. And this is going to be part of my gig when I get up to Fort Laramie. So this will be on there. Probably going to have a cap box or a pistol cartridge box on here. If I carry my Rich's Mason conversion, I'll carry the cap box because I've got that converted to be like a cartridge box instead. Because a lot of them were converted after the Civil War when everything started going to cartridges. But yeah, I'll carry that one. I'm probably going to make a sheath for my dagger that I got, my Arkansas toothpick. I'll make a black sheath to go with that. And I'll probably also carry the 49 pocket model in this holster, which I showed this one off, I'm pretty sure, before. So if you're looking into a full flat pocket model holster, I could probably make one of them too. I bought some finials, and they weren't the ones I ordered when they came in, but I could probably make one of them. Yeah, this one will have, when this belt's done, it'll have this holster. Of course, my Sheffield knife is on there, which I still got to go polish a blade on. And then I'll have a pistol cartridge box on here, which I ordered a kit one. I'm going to use that kit to make a pattern for my own, but I don't think I'm going to offer them for sale, being so I'm using a pattern that somebody else has. I'll come up with my own pattern if I wind up doing for them. But anyway, it looks like the chat has really slowed down. Everybody's pretty much signing off for the night. So I think we're going to sign off here in the next 3 minutes. We'll run this chat for 2 hours. So yeah, any last minute questions you got, go ahead and ask them. If you want to custom order a holster, if you want a holster that I didn't show here tonight, go ahead. If you want to go ahead and place that order, feel free to do so. Email right down there. Just keep in mind, it's going to be a while before I can fulfill any more orders because I'm waiting on everything to get cleared before I order leather. And being that post office screwed up on a bunch of people's orders and they're not getting them today, it's going to be a little while before I know that everybody's got their orders and satisfied. Once everybody's satisfied, then I'll go ahead and place the order. Because I'm going to order two sides of Herman Oak. I'm going to start trying that Herman Oak leather. Everybody keeps telling me, all professional guys keep telling me that I need to go to the Herman Oak. So I'm going to try some, see how it turns out. The only thing I hate about, buying that Herman Oak is when you're making a pattern, if you screw up the pattern on this cheap Tandy stuff, I'm not out that much. But you screw up on that Herman Oak, and that stuff ain't exactly cheap. It's $189 for a side. So I'm ordering 2 sides at $360, plus a few extra tools because I got another project. Oh, I didn't mention that either. So I got another project I'm going to work on. And for those of you that are still watching, which says there's 12 of you still there. I don't know if there's still 12 of you or not. I've always wanted to have kind of like a saddle style holster. And being I'm heading up north and I'm going to be portraying different years where I can do different things with different leather styles and different accoutrements, I am going to make me a set of these pommel holsters or pommel bags with a holster in it. So I went looking online and I went onto a forum and I found a guy that had the pattern for this, exact pattern for this saddlebag. And so he had it up there for free. I got it. I got to go print it off. I've got the buckles ordered. I wanted the roller buckles like what's here, but I couldn't find them. But I'm going to order the leather. I'm going to order the buckles. And then I'm going to see if I can find somebody that can help me draw out that pattern on the tooling. And then I'm going to do it because that tooling is not real. That tooling is not intricate. It's just, you got your border stamping, and that's mostly just carved. Everything you see in there is carved. There's very little tooling. There's some shading, some edge beveling, Few cedar stamps. Looks like they've got a couple camouflage or Vayner stamps on there. But other than that, I mean, it's mostly just carved. There's not a whole lot of tooling to it. So I'm going to look at making me a set of those. And if I can make a set that looks nice, if anybody wants to order a set, I'll gladly make them. But I can tell you right now, they're not going to be a cheap thing, because I found a company that was selling something like that, and the starting price on them was about $500. I won't hit you that hard, but if anybody wants to order one of them after I get that done, that'll be it's going to be a spendy project. Big D says, once you use Herman Oak, you won't want to use anything else. No more fuzzy flesh side. That's the one thing. This one has a real fuzzy flesh side, so I put a bunch of wax on it and tried to compress the fuzz down like you do when you burnish an edge. It helped, but didn't cure it. But yeah, I know what you mean by that fuzzy edge. And I've been pretty fortunate. A lot of the let me see. There it is. A lot of the ones I do don't have a real terrible time with a fuzzy edge. I mean, there's some fuzz there, but there's a couple pieces there I finally took a skiving knife and just skived it all off. Yeah, Casey, I can see myself being careful with Herman Oak, because, yeah, that stuff's spendy. I don't want to rain it. And everybody keeps telling me I need to do that. So, and I'd like to get more into tooling, but Cool Hand was my fancy studded fancy holster. Was that in the book Packing Iron? Yes and no. So when I made that holster and I decided I was going to practice putting my spots on it, I hadn't looked in that book. I just remembered I seen a holster that had an outline done with the spots, and I remember it having a pattern through the middle. So I did the outline on the spots, and I thought, that'll be enough. And I got to look, and I was like, God dang it, needs something there in the middle just to kind of help it along. It just didn't look complete with that open. So I said, I seen that in Packing Iron. So I looked in there and I found the one I was looking at. It was not the Slim Jim style. It was actually a double loop style. And the design pattern that was in it was not what I had thought. I remembered it being some sort of fancy design, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. And I will not show that design on here because it is a Native American peace sign. And today, it's known as another sign because somebody over in the middle of Germany in World War II decided to use that for their national symbol. I think that pretty much gets the point across without me having to say it. So I decided that wasn't going to fly. I wasn't going to put that pattern on there. And I went back and I was looking through some of my holster pictures because I knew I had some that had spots in there too. And I come across this knife sheath that I'd saved a picture of, and it had a diamond pattern on it. So that's why it's got a diamond pattern in it. So I just threw that in there. I thought that looked nice. But yeah, I was trying to do that all off memory, and then I opened that book and seen that. I was like, yeah, I'm glad that I'm not going to do that. Because even though I know that it's not this particular symbol that gets the bad rap, it's a symbol that predated that. Nobody else is going to know that. I get called all kinds of nasty names if I put that on there. Yeah, Big D. I always oil everything, or I try to oil everything after I put dye to it. The only thing I don't oil anymore is anything that I dye black. And that's because my black dye, I don't know what it is. Every time I get done, it's got white streaks and stuff all over it. It doesn't look good. Casey Scott, that got held for review for whatever reason, so I'm going to show that there. I don't know why they reviewed that, other than you said you wet yourself or something. Or they thought that. Anyway, as I was saying, I quit doing that because I started putting black Resolene on it. And when I put that black Resolene on there, I can't get oil to penetrate it. That oil will just sit there and drip off on the floor. But everything else gets a coat of neat's foot. And I'm trying to remember if I got all these neat's footed. I don't remember if I did or not. No, I didn't, because I used gum trag before I did that burnish the edges. I had never used gum trag before, and I was surprised. It's like when I'm doing with water burnishing, I put the water on there and then you rub it, and eventually it would get that real good glassy sheen to it. But it seemed like by the time it did that, then it was all compressed, and you had to lay it down, flatten it back out. Put that gum trag on there, and I'm using a polished piece of cow bone that my uncle made. Just started rubbing, and it's like instant burnish. I was like, holy crap. So yeah, me and gum trag are becoming fast friends. But I can't stand the smell of it. Casey, I don't wet my holsters when I fold them. I never do. I just don't like wetting the leather because I have to wait for it to dry out. But I've never wetted any of these. The only time I wet something when I fold it is when I'm trying to get a sharp fold like here. This was wetted. So these fold over belt loops are wetted down so that they fold down nice and flat. Otherwise, this thing would pooch out way far. But yeah, on these bags, I don't wet them. That's probably why I have problems getting my holsters to line up. I did try to fold over one and use glue. Try to glue it before I started punching my holes to see, because never fails. Whenever I make a holster, I always come up 1 or 2 holes off. So you can see right there, there's one where its stitch got skipped. So I tried folding it over and gluing it together, and I glued it down, and I got about halfway done with the holster, and everything just turned loose, and then it was a pain in the butt to get everything to line back up. So I quit doing that. I just punch my holes, fold them over, stitch them, don't wet them if I don't have to. I'll have to look into that tokenol. But the only reason I'm using gum trag is my uncle bought it, because when I got into leatherworking, my uncle got into leatherworking, and he bought the gum trag, and I just wanted to go traditional ways and just use water. But he had that gum trag over there, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give that stuff a try and see what it's like. It's like, oh, crap. Turned my burnishing from a half-hour project into a 10-minute project, if not faster. Casey, are you wetting the inside or the outside when you fold it, or both sides? The only reason like I said, I usually don't wet it unless I'm making a real steep, sharp fold. Then I'll wet it. Otherwise, and it could be because of the leather I'm using too, but it seems like anytime water touches this leather, it just freaking changes the color on that so damn fast. Doing both, okay, yeah. I might try that on one just to see how it turns out, but it's like, last one of these holsters in here. Which one was it? It was the triple loop. So this one, when I wetted the front here to put my maker's mark in, I got a little water on the edges here. It dripped down, and I didn't think that damn dye was ever going to cover it up. In fact, you can still see it. There's a little white line there, but it's not near as bad as it was. I don't soak it just wet. Okay, so just surface, yeah. And for the most part, the way I cut these usually I don't have too much problem folding these over. especially when you get into like these ones that are made for the 73 single actions that are a little bit wider. These usually fold over real nice. These ones, I just sit and work them real gentle like because they're a little bit tighter. But I'll just send them over and I'll spend 10, 15 minutes before I start stitching, just folding it over and just kind of working it down real gentle. I don't just smash it over and fold it. I just kind of work it down. And when I get them to where they kind of, I don't have to take a whole lot of pressure to get the two edges to stay together, then I stitch them together. And so far, I haven't had too many problems. But what really sucks is when you cut one and the grain is all screwed up in it, or it's been rolled up and real tight and doesn't want to turn loose, and then you go to fold it over and all of a sudden it starts twisting and turning on you and gets out of whack. Yeah, that's why a lot of my holsters wound up getting dyed dark, is because they get water spots or something on them somewhere. So I started, this is kind of funny. I mentioned I did a lot of these with the airbrush. I started using an airbrush on what was left of this last batch that wasn't custom order. So I got the airbrush out the first night. I don't know if I told this story or not. I may have. I might have told this last week. No, I didn't. I don't remember. Anyway, I got the airbrush out. Yeah, this is kind of a late night whim. Told my uncle, I was like, yeah, I'm going to see if this will work. Everybody keeps telling me to use the airbrush for these lighter colors. So I got the airbrush out, set it up, and it's colder than hell outside. Wind was blowing, so I didn't want to open the window. So I thought, I'll be all right. And I thought, well, it's going to have some overspray, so I'm going to do it in front of this big Walmart box. So I'm sitting there, and I start spraying on this practice piece of leather. And I get the airbrush going, and I'm used to doing lines on like tiger tanks and stuff, the smoke lines, the German camouflage. So I'm doing real light, and I'm getting these just streak lines right through the holster. I'm like, crap, I'm going to have to open this up. So I open that thing up wide for, your basic coverage of everything. And this waft of dye comes to the back of the box, over the top, across me. And I did not know it, but it fell in and got in. And so all my holsters were spotted, which I found out the next day. Thankfully, I was using a light brown when I did that. So everything got pretty well covered up when I went and dyed it back. But I tell you what, I learned a lesson that night. Do not spray that spray in a real tight closed area. Make sure you got plenty of ventilation when you do it, because by the time I got done spraying, I sprayed 4 holsters. No, I sprayed 3. I sprayed 3 holsters. I was a damn drunk from the aerosoled alcohol in the air. And it wasn't a good drunk either. I mean, instant headache, kind of a little bit on the dizzy side. Because, I'm spraying this, it's all coming in my face. I didn't have a mask on. There's no airflow. Guarantee you the next day when I did that, I was right in front of the window. I had a big box fan pointed out that window. It was 32 degrees. I'm sitting there shivering, but I was still spraying. And I didn't have a single problem after that. Yeah, if you ever play with an airbrush and leather dye, especially alcohol-based, make sure to have plenty of good ventilation. It really makes a difference. All right. So I said I was going to shut it down to 2 hours. That was 15 minutes ago. So, yeah, get any of your last-minute questions, comments in there, and we're going to shut her down here pretty quick. I'm going to go back and check the email again. Yeah, nothing's come in new, so... Yeah, I'll have to look into that Campbell machine. If it's going for 3,500 used, I'm going to guess it's probably closer to 5 new. If not, I'll have to, might have to look and see if I can swing one of them one of these days. Yeah, I just set my box fan up. Like I said, I got it set in the window to where it's going outside, so it's pulling everything to the outside. So I didn't worry too much about the filter. But And that was funny as we was going to get rid of that cheap airbrush because when we was doing plastic models, that airbrush wasn't very good. It would work for about 5 minutes and give you real beautiful results, as good as the one $high-dollar ones. Then the needle would stop up and it would quit blowing, and you clean the needle off and then go back to do it, and it would shoot out this big old blob of half-dried paint that would screw up everything. And after that, it'd go back to working for another 5 minutes. But with the alcohol dye, man, that thing works slick. And I tell you what, cleaning up dye is a lot easier than cleaning up paint out of that thing, because all I got to do is take a cotton ball, clean the bowl out for whatever dye is left over, fill it full of rubbing alcohol, run that out, take another cotton ball with some alcohol on it, swab it out, run another bowl full of rubbing alcohol through it. It's done. When I was running paint, I'd have to run 2 or 3, 4 things of thinner through there, then my cleaning solution. Then I'd have to take it apart and clean it again anyway. But with that dye, just rubbing alcohol in there a lot faster. And I thought it gave better results. I need to practice with it more too, but it's still a little spotty, but it gives a hell of a lot better coverage on the lighter colors. I guarantee you that, because that one time I tried to use a wool dauber on the medium and the light brown. By the time I got done, it was all said and done. Everything was even. It looked just like the dark brown. And uses a hell of a lot less dye. The only thing I got against it is on the edges and stuff. It doesn't give very good coverage, but I'm going to go back over that with a wool dauber and just touch the edges and darken them up a little bit. So, all right. Well, it is 11 o'clock where I'm at. I need to think about going to bed. My dogs are still outside, and they're probably getting cold and hungry and thinking I have abandoned them. So I'm going to shut her down here. I want to thank you all for joining in. And like I said, if you want to order one of these holsters that I showed tonight, go ahead and send me an email after Saturday evening, Saturday at midnight. After that, they will only be available through Etsy. So if you still got your eye on one, you can buy it through there. And if you want to make any orders for any other style of holster that I offer, shoot me an email. It'll be a few weeks because I'm still waiting to order leather. But we can certainly do custom orders. And right now I've got 2 49 pocket model holsters that I've got to make up that'll be available too. So looks like everybody's signing out saying goodnight. So adios, y'all take care, and we'll try to catch you next week.